Hey guys, my name is Hashim Mohammed and welcome to this hack project tutorial. In today's video, we'll be learning how to build an application for your campus, be it university or company or organization, where you can buy and sell items and products and services amongst your peers. So this is what the application is going to look like. So basically, people will be selling out whatever they want to, like whether it can be service, like I can build something for you, or they can be selling their what they can cook or what they can make, products that they have. Probably they want to sell out their used item or whatever it is, and you can basically get in touch with them via WhatsApp or email or phone number, SMS, whatever options you want to add. You can add those, and this is a direct link, so you can check this out. This has like a it also says what option I just chose. So I selected delicious cheesecake. So it says here, hey, that's the name of that's the name of the seller. I'm interested in your product and blah blah blah. So that's actually the text that we have there. So we're going to learn how to do this, and we don't really have a membership in this thing. So it's really simple, but something that you guys can do for your campus. I think it will be a lot very useful. It's really simple, something really sweet. So you're not gonna do anything like you're not gonna handle the transactions. Primarily because, well, actually you're selling these stuff to your own friends or sort of people you already know, or probably people inside your campus or someone you can reach out to easily. I mean, if you're living in some place like Google headquarters or something, probably your campus is like a few kilometers long, which I guess you can drive via cycle and get to that person. Um, so it's not going to be really difficult for you to like go and sell to that person by a hand or whatever it is. So you can first communicate. So if it's a service or something, you can communicate. You can add whatever channels you want to. In this video, I'm going to use also WhatsApp. This is basically what I'm doing is I'm going to connect my Bubble application to WhatsApp. Of course, it's basically a link generator. I'm going to use that. We're also going to learn how to add email support and also SMS to your thing, and that's how they're primarily going to interact. Now, as you can see here, before even I began, I actually built the whole application. Actually, this is the second time I'm recording this video. Just before I recorded this video, I actually did another recording, and even just before I even ended making this application, this video went like 50 minutes long, and a lot of it was just repetitive stuff. So I didn't want to like bore you guys with those things. Hence, I wanted to like show you how I built this application myself and show you guys how you can build it on your own. But as usual, this actually uses no rocket science concepts, but you definitely need to have some experience with using Bubble because, well, what's happening here in this video is that we're gonna move a little fast. So therefore, what I want you guys to do is to have some basic experience with Bubble. Absolutely no coding knowledge required. Anybody can do this. The only thing is you need to have some experience. And when I say experience, you guys can, if you have not used Bubble before, link will be in the description to a Skillshare, a very short Skillshare course that I created a long time back. You can go ahead and check that course and then come back here, where I will show you guys how you can create this marketplace-like application for your campus. So, so with that said, like let's get this out of the way. So first thing you need to do is go to bubble.is, go to the website, create a new application, and then start from scratch. Like basically when I say start from scratch, I mean to say like create a blank application. I'll start from the topmost. I only have one page. I don't really have any other pages whatsoever. I don't have a login page because, well, most of the communication is handled via email or WhatsApp or SMS or whatever other channels. I don't want to create the instant messenger here. Well, you can of course add the option to let users vote for them and all of that. You guys can go ahead and extend this to anything, and there's so much potential that this application has. You guys can go extend it to whatever you want to, but on the outset, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the sign up and sign in part, so which means that I cannot integrate the feature to like any of these posts. Because I cannot identify who the user is if I'm not gonna let the user like sign in. So that's not a big deal because the most important thing I'm trying to tackle, the problem that I'm trying to tackle here, is that it's basically a very easy to use marketplace that people can just buy and sell stuff and kind of, you know, yeah. So that's what the application is for. I want to have very little friction. People are kind of lazy to kind of sign up, so I didn't want to put up the sign up process. But you're more than welcome to add the sign in, and then you can put this to the next page. So this video is brought to you by Zero Code. So if you're looking to build a dynamic website for your business or for yourself, you can hire these wonderful guys at Zero Code who have a lot of experience with developing applications using Bubble, or you can buy one of their premium quality templates, and which will take a lot of time to actually develop. So if you are interested, go check out the link in the description. It also helps this channel. So now let's go ahead and see how this thing is constructed. Um, First thing is the logo, or the name of your campus or your company, whatever is the name of the product that you're developing. Simple text, and then we have a button here that opens up the pop-up. So I have two pop-ups. One is a place where the form where the user will submit their advertisement. So I will go through this in a minute, which is the form, and then we also have another pop-up where we show all the channels through which the user can get in touch to get that product or service done. And then we have a huge repeating group. And inside of the repeating group, I added a group just because, well, it organizes and sort of makes the thing responsive. So inside of this, I added a text, a huge heading here, and an image. And inside that, I added a group, and inside that, I added a text, which shows the price. um, Ideally, the first step again is just like what you need to do is add a group, and then inside that you add. Ideally, what I say is that you group every single element, like every single thing should be inside of a group, unless and of course, like in this case, it's just one element and it's standing alone, so it's okay. But if there's like two elements next to each other, it's always recommended that you group all of them, because what happens is when you're, especially when you're doing responsiveness, Bubble is not known to be the best tool for making responsive sites. So what happens is these two elements, when it goes to a different screen size, it pretty much starts overlapping each other. So I recommend you guys to go group anything up. Um, and what I did is I added a description down there, and well, some description, and like, and I make this section bold, like by the name of the person who posted this. In this case, I'm not really asking the user to sign up or sign in, so I'm just taking the name of the person while he posts that ad. So instead of saying submit post, I think that's a really wrong wording. I guess it should be submit ad. That should be a better wording. And I have actually a different button here called Get in Touch, which opens up this the post where it shows all of the channels through which the user can get in touch with. So this is how the UI is constructed. I've not really gone to the backend yet, so I'll also show you guys how my the pop-up is constructed. At the top is where I show the text element, say submit ad, so the user knows what they're doing. I have a thumbnail image which the user can post about the image. The form is divided into two halves. The first half, up until the price, is about the actual product and service, and the part below it is all about how to reach that person. So the first part is I'm taking the image, the title of what your product or service is about, and of course we also want to get whether it's a product or a service. Like, are you actually putting a service for logo design or whatever it is, or are you actually selling your bike or something like that? So what it is, you type in that. Like, I'm not really doing anything with this information in this application, but there's a lot of things that you can do. Like, for instance, there's one small thing that actually varies when I say product or service. I'm going to show you what. Over here on the price, you can see on the conditions tab, I added a condition that says drop down, choose type. If the value is service, I changed this placeholder text, which now says price, to quotation or range. And the reason for that is, typically in a product, when you're selling a car or bike, um, the price does not vary a lot, right? So You can say a fixed price or at least an approximate price. But in a service like logo design or web design, the price definitely varies a lot and depending on the complexity of the web page, the client's condition, and a lot of things. So the factors are like the amount of variation, like how much the cost can vary is just a lot. So you can quote a particular amount, but you can't really like say, for logo design, I take about, let's say, $5,000 or whatever it is, because that's not the best sort of way to price any service, because service depends on, well, on a lot of factors. So ideally what I say is you place the quotation there, and then you ask the user to sort of communicate and then negotiate whatever is the price. So that's just one small detail that happens with this type. Otherwise, I don't really do a lot of things with this type of information. But you guys can, of course, change the layout. You can do a lot of things with product service, because these two kind of work fundamentally differently. Because product, you can of course take money directly from the customer, but service, again, I think the first step is to communicate with them, sort of quote the actual price, and then we can take money out of them. So that's a lot of steps in the service. So you can take that information in. That data is quite important. The next thing is category. So I did add a few but categories, which honestly just to sort of help you understand this tutorial. But there's a lot of categories that are missing in this. That's okay. So just a bunch of categories to help users find items more easily. Also some description, which is a multi-line input. Some price, of course, I changed the content format in dollars. You can change it to euros or whatever you want to. Over here, I did this. I did define what are the fields that should not be left empty, which means that the required fields. There's one small thing. Okay, so up until the price, it's all about the item. Now from here onwards, you can actually, if you have a sign-in process or a sign-up process, you can take all this information while they're signing up, so you don't have to ask the user to do this all the time. However, ideally, it's recommended. Like this is how I would do it. Is the first step is you want to ask, okay, what's your personal name, and I'm not really interested in other details like your email address or whatever, because I'm going to say add a channel. So these are the things that I support at the moment: email, WhatsApp, SMS, or Facebook Messenger. Um, Facebook Messenger, I don't really want to do this actually, but it's okay. Facebook Messenger support is very limited. I can only redirect that person to connect with that person, but I cannot I cannot really synchronize like in WhatsApp. What happens is when I click on the button, it automatically frames the message saying that, hey, I'm interested in this item, so that the user can just click on the send button and then the message just goes across. For Facebook Messenger, it's simply just linking. So that's the best you can do, because Facebook does not support this kind of process. Okay, so here's what I did. I added another repeating group. Okay, and I sort of what I did is I'm gonna go through the data now a minute. In a minute, I actually created two different custom data types. One is called contact channel, and one is called post. Um, Basically, contact channels are all the channels through which the browsers or the buyers can contact the seller from. So here, when he clicks on, let's say email, I added an input box. I changed I kept the content format as text, because it can be in email as well. So unless, because all the other things are phone numbers. WhatsApp is a phone number, SMS is a phone number. I don't know about Facebook Messenger. I'm gonna remove this actually for now. So if it's going to be so phone number here. Now, like this is how it goes. So over here on the text, I said drop down. When this drop down here, its value is email. I'm changing the placeholder text to enter your email address, and by default, I'm saying enter your phone number. And there's one more thing, and is that when I click on add, I'm creating a new instance of contact channel. The contact channel has three pieces of information. One is the actual phone number or email address, and post reference. So the post reference here refers to the post that is attached in this pop-up, which I will talk about in a while. Like how do you set this up? So actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and because channel name, by the way, is refers to what kind of channel this is. If it's a WhatsApp, it's this one. So at the moment we only support three. Is it an email, WhatsApp, or SMS? So we take this value from here, and then we put it over there. So so we add that post, and then this is how it's done: is that the type of the content for this repeating group, I'm sorry, is contact channel, and the data source is a contact channel, and the post reference is the parent group's post. Um, so that's the basically the pop-up. And let me tell you how the repeating groups I'm sorry, the submit. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the data set for a minute here, and let me explain what are the things that I'm saving here. And of course I'm going to revisit some of the parts I already explained. The first thing is the channel name. There's two custom data types that I've done. As for the user, I have not done anything because I'm not using sign up or sign in users. The first thing is the contact channel, and over here I'm saving all the channels through which the user can get in touch with them, which is the channel name, post references, and value. Um, so this is pretty much what I have used for getting in touch. So first is the value itself, and to which post this channel refers to, and what kind of channel this is. Is it WhatsApp, SMS, or whatever it is? And the next thing is post itself, where we define all of the values for this post. So what category it belongs to, the description, and finish. This actually refers to it's a yes and no, and by default the value is known. And what I'm saying is that because I don't have any sign in or sign up form, and because I'm actually when I because there's this, if I go to the pop-up back again here, when I click on add, I need to add all the contact channels to this repeating group. And when I want to add all of the contact channels to this particular post contact channel. So in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to have some sort of post reference. So what I did is when I click on the submit ad here, the workflow goes something like this. I create a new post, but I don't save any value, and I display the data. The pop-up post, I just display the pop-up, and the data to display is whatever the post that I just created, and I'll pass that post value, and I will show that post, that pop-up itself. So when I do that, a new post attribute is created. But over here, as you can see on the repeating group, what I say is that the finished attribute should be yes, and only then that post will be displayed here. So actually what happens is if you go to this part here, and if you go and click on submit here, I'm not actually creating that post. I'm only making changes to that post, and we're actually getting all of the values from the UI for the name of the person, except for the channel details. We get all of the values, and we see that the finished value is yes, and that's what the yes is. Name of the person, pictures and image, price and details, like everything else is text, so you can just copy this whole thing. And the way it works is that on this contact channel, this is how it's set up. Is a post reference again, is refers to that. Again here on the add button. Oh, by the way, this drop down has email, WhatsApp, and all that. So when I click on add, actually the add is not aside this drop down. It's when I click on any value, I actually put up a text box and a button, and I actually nested that inside of a group. And I made the group type as post, and the data source as parent group's post. It's the same thing. Okay. The data source here is empty because we defined the value, because that's in basically a new a new post being created when I click on submit ad. So basically that value is coming from the button, so you don't really have to worry about it. So what happens is when I click on add, I create a new channel, and I say the channel name is coming from the drop source. Well, what is the name of the channel? And I say the value of that channel is going to come from that input field, and the post reference is that parent group's post, which is essentially this post is coming. This is actually a new post, right? So we want to attach that channel name to this particular post address. So that's what we did. Over here is simple delete operation. So I just delete the channel when I click on it, and I just display the channel name and the value here, which I'll show you guys how it functions. So on the submit, what I do is the first thing I do is make changes to the parent group's post, and the category is well that, and you can just go, like pause the video and copy it if you want to, but I'm going to go through all of this, okay? Um, just for your reference, this is what I've done. I've also reset the relevant input so that the next time I enter, I don't see all the fields again. I'm going to hide the pop-up. You can, of course, add another pop-up. The show pop says that, you know what, the post has been created or successfully or whatever. That way the user is acknowledged. One thing is, let's go to get in touch here. We do one thing here. We create another pop-up because we're going to be displaying all of the contact channels that are pertaining to this particular post. And in order to do that, what I did is that I created a pop-up, and in this pop-up, the type of the content is post here. Data source can be empty. The thing you need to do is the data source is passed on from that button, so you don't really have to worry about the data source. And we added a repeating loop here, something very similar, except we display the name of the channel name. We don't really mention the name of the the email address or the phone number because, well, um, that's something that you don't need to see explicitly on the field itself. Otherwise, people have no use of clicking on this button. So when I click on the contact button, this is where the main thing comes in. I only have two, like I've implemented for WhatsApp and for email. Um, so this is how it goes. So what you need to do is for WhatsApp. Actually, if you guys have seen here, I closed all these tabs here. Actually, the video got cut in between, so I had to do it again. So click on this create link now. The link to this web page will be in the description. And this is only a link generator, so just given any number here, it doesn't really matter. Um, and you want to say what message do you want to type in. So whatever is the template of the message, so that could be hey user. Don't give square brackets or anything, because what will happen is when you get the link, you'll get a code format, and you don't. What you're going to do is when you're going to put this into Bubble, we're going to change this word user to whatever is the username, and that way we have some synchronization. So hey, I am interested in your whether it's a product or service, so that's going to be type, and that's going to be the title of the ad. So just remember, this is my template, but you guys can put whatever template you want to. Just click on create link. I'm gonna click on copy link, and the ideal thing to do is you open up a new a text editor or whatever, just for helping you guys understand very clearly. Look at this. Now this is basically the format of the link. Now if you look at this 22243 is the value I entered there. So if I type in whatever phone number, that will appear here, okay? So remember to put plus whatever is your country code as well. That's also kind of important. So if it's exclusively for US, then you might want to add this along with your bubble. Now what we want to do is we want to say whatever is your country code. For instance, for me it's 46. And then you want to type in, you want to allow the user to populate this phone number, whatever is the phone number. And over here, hey, the percentage 20, you don't really need to mind about this because on the links you can't really have spaces. So the way internet sort of, the web browser sort of interprets spaces is by putting a percent 20 symbol there, the percentage 20 text there. So instead of this user, we're going to insert dynamic data, and we're going to populate that with the name of the title itself. And over here on the type, I'm going to replace the word type with whatever is there. Now I want to show you guys this very clearly because when I'm going to do this, implement this on the bubble editor, it might now look very clear. So just so you guys know what I'm doing exactly, I'm going to implement for SMS so you guys can see what it really looks like. So here's what I did, okay? I went to element actions, navigation. open an external website and copy paste this. Now this is the template I want. I'm not really using this, but I want to replace this phone number, okay, by insert dynamic data and say current sales contacts channel. Um, again, if you guys don't remember where this is coming from, this is the pop up here, okay? So you want to click on current sales contacts channels. um, so over here, the value contains the phone number, so that's the phone number, and text. Hey user, so I don't really have the sign up form, but so in my case, the value of who is the author of this contact is stored on the post reference. So post reference name of the person. So that will say, for example, if the name of the author of the post is John, so he will say, hey John, and that would be a accurate representation. You don't really need to introduce the name of the buyer, because buyer, if he's going to be logged in with his WhatsApp, then it's going to send this message from his phone. So it doesn't really matter to if you want to really introduce your own name. So you want to say, hey, the name of the person. I am interested in your type. Now instead of type, you want to replace that word type. I'm going to remove that and click on insert dynamic data and say current sales contacts channels, post reference, post type. Now this way you want to populate whatever field you want to. If you have additional notes or whatever, like description or whatever, you can add that as well. Current sales contacts channels, um, um, what's the name of the thing? Post reference title. So this way, now if I click on the connect button, what will happen is every time I click on the connect button, it will open up WhatsApp. But since we have multiple channels, we cannot like say, even if I click on mail, that will open up WhatsApp. So I want to say that condition that only when the current sales contacts channel name is or contains whatever is okay. Contains sometimes is safe, because if you have additional text or whatever, it doesn't really take that into consideration. So you want to say, in this case, we have only three options, so it's pretty easy. You want to make sure this is case sensitive. Like if you have in the drop down as A is not uppercase, then you need to make sure that's the same over here, because bubble is case sensitive. Okay, so you want to say that this workflow or this step will be implemented only when the current sales channel name is WhatsApp. So if it says WhatsApp here, it will open up this link here. It will do this thing, which is open the external website to this link. Now I already have this here, so I will not do that again. I already have the WhatsApp. This one is email. So if you can see the same thing over here for email, it's very simple. Um, for email, you want to say open an external website and say mail to colon the email, okay, and then you want to type in question mark subject equals, and you want to type in within the double quotes. I guess is it double quotes, or is it if I'm correct? No, you don't really need to type in double quotes. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't type in double quotes. Just like whatever is the content, you can put it in the subject or you can put it in the body of the thing. So if you want to put in the body, say body is equal to, this will be contained in the actual message. Okay, not in the double quotes. I'm sorry. Again, I keep doing that mistake. So email, you want to say something like, whatever is your message. Hey again. Hey the user. You want to replace that with again the name of the person. Um, and keep doing that. So again, if you want to see how I implemented this, you can check this out over here. This is my implementation, but you can change the subject to body or whatever, and you can implement it however you want. But there's one thing I didn't do, which is for SMS. I want to say when the current sales context channel name is SMS, which is the value that comes from the drop down. Let's Google this. So I want to say HTML, it's because it's basically HTML. See SMS link. So if I Google for this, I pretty much get, I think it's this one here. There's a lot of articles about this. Now I found this one here. This one just says like send an SMS. This will just open up the SMS format. But over here is a very comprehensive code, so I'm just gonna copy that. And before I paste it into Bubble, I just want to see what this looks like, big enough. Okay, here you go. Now here's actually the body which I want to populate with whatever I want. So we say, hey, user, again, um, I am interested in your whatever is your type, and then that name of the product or whatever is the title. So here we're gonna replace that with the thing, and that we're not interested in the rest of the stuff. Okay, the only thing we're interested is the thing inside the double quotes. Okay. So you want to copy this, and instead of the plus the whatever, you're gonna replace that with your phone number. Okay. So you want to copy that. I'm sorry, I just copied this, and then go back here and say destination is this. Now you want to replace the values of whatever that is with the thing. So current sales contacts channels value. So that will take whatever is the phone number, and then that will replace that there. So hey user, instead of saying user, it will say hey current sales contacts channel post reference, name of the person, and I'm going to say interested in your type. So instead of that, current sales contacts channels, channel name, and instead of the title, I'm going to say insert dynamic data, current sales contacts channels, post reference, title. Okay, so that's, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't make a difference in your post reference type. I'm sorry. So that actually shows that will actually make the SMS work. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm using a desktop computer, so essentially SMS would not work. Like I don't think it will work. Like let's check out the two issues that I have actually. Opening external actions must be the last action in the workflow. Um, okay. So it looks like we can only have one action per thing. So you need to like copy or paste this again. So like let's do something like this, okay? Let's copy and then paste this. Okay, so let's make three different buttons. So SMS, mail, and then message. Okay, so you can do the same thing for Messenger. Again, for Messenger, you can't really populate the body text like we did in the other cases. So what we want to do is we want to say add the conditions. For SMS, you want to say when the current sales context channel name is SMS, then we want to show this. Oh, when I say is not, we want to not show this. You want to copy this condition and then paste the same thing for email, except the only thing we're going to do is instead of SMS, we're going to give it an email, and then we're going to take the same thing over here for message. We're going to do this for WhatsApp, WhatsApp, and then we're going to do this. So if the SMS type, whatever is the type, that will display with there. So let's go ahead and before we do that, let's go to message here and then take out all the workflows. Now this is for WhatsApp, so I want to keep the WhatsApp stuff, and I want to remove the email first, okay? And I want to put that inside of the mail workflow. So I'm gonna copy paste that here. I just cut it by pressing the keyboard shortcut, which is Command X or Control X on Windows. So I'm gonna go back here. I have another one which is for SMS. I'm gonna cut that and then paste that inside SMS. So this is gonna work only on the phones, just so you guys know. Again, I'm gonna like vertically align those. Remember, only one of the buttons will show up because we have those conditions set up. Okay. Now let's go ahead and check it out. We have no errors, but um, as for the existing stuff, let me like show you this one. So we have WhatsApp and email, as you can see here. If I click on WhatsApp or whatever, it will just open up that. But let's go ahead and click on submit and add here. So I'm gonna click on something here. So there's some image. I'm gonna say I can make textures. I'm sorry. Okay, that picture is actually not really a picture. It's a TGA format. So let's add some other stuff. Okay. Let's say um, uh, so I'm gonna say pirate ship toy. Let's say showcase. Type is going to be the product, and I'm going to say that this is actually a what is utility or something. Um, I'm going to keep it like this. So it's a legendary pirate model I bought from Mexico. Not really, actually. This image is from Unsplash, by the way. Um, so the price would be something. It is this model really looks very expensive. I bet it's something around $500. So I don't know. I can't be terribly wrong, but yeah. So my name is that. and you want to check this out. How I implemented this, add a channel is email. So I'm gonna say my fake email, which is, by the way, don't email me this address. And I'm gonna have my WhatsApp as well, which is again a fake email, like fake WhatsApp address. Please don't like message me on this address, okay? And when I click on submit, add. Oh, I forgot to add the type, which is product. Okay, click on submit, and if you go down there, I have my model. If I get in touch, I have these two things that I have already done. I don't want to click on mail because it opens up my message client again. If I click on WhatsApp, it goes to this address. Um, Now the phone number didn't go correctly. That's because I didn't really set that up properly. If you go to my pop up here, click on this, click on this message. If you want to jump to that button, click on that and go here. And for WhatsApp, I forgot to replace the phone number by saying current sales contacts channels value. Okay, so you want to now go back here and try it again. Um, Now if I go to get in touch and click on WhatsApp. And what I don't remember what's the phone number I gave. Um, yeah, as you can see here on the top here, this phone number probably doesn't exist. Okay, but it still like lets you like send it because this when you actually send it, you'll see that this WhatsApp doesn't exist. But again, it's an invalid number, but it sort of shows up. But that's it for this video, guys. If you guys like this video, what you can do is like this video and subscribe to my channel, and that will support this channel. But also, most importantly, there will be a link to this project page in the description below on a website that I just started called Creator School. And what you need to do is go to that project page and actually share your creations and what you build. And if you have any questions or sort of problems that that you have run across, please share them on that website so that I can see them. And also, if you guys have some other ideas and suggestions to this project, please be sure to share them there, share projects there. And I shall see you guys in another project video very soon.